You know, they're as mad as it seems. The more we learn and the more it becomes apparent the answers are in fact clear and simple, not unlike wash your hands, for example. You see, in a complex world, washing your hands isn't interesting or new or edgy, but it's as applicable as it ever was. We just don't necessarily want to know. So the simplicity in the answer is in this particular question. Why isn't this country locked down, as in now? Already. There are lots of other equally pertinent questions as well, like why didn't we test earlier? Why did they basically lie about the number of test kits we didn't have? But for right now, why isn't this country locked down? China has given us, of course, the answer. Not necessarily in a way we find comfortable, but the numbers don't lie. They are largely out the other side by locking their country down. Europe is all the evidence you need as to what happens if you don't act fast. We seem in the midst of some bizarre, slowly unfolding series of decisions released in a cumbersome, lethargic and needlessly ineffective way. Messages for New Zealanders to come home, messages to self-isolate, messages to practice social distancing, messages about large gatherings that become smaller gatherings that will inevitably lead to no gatherings at all. All of this is unfolding. It's all going in the same direction. It's just not happening fast enough. It's all heading to an obvious point, locking the country down. Why are we waiting for whenever, when the call is right now? The trouble is in part is the government. The government basically are useless at project management. The government can't do stuff. They talk about stuff. A lot of talk, they don't do stuff. I asked on Monday whether you would feel differently, for example, if a John Key type figure was still in charge. The question is still applicable towards the end of the week. If decisions were in the hands of proven project leaders, would A, you feel better, and B, would stuff be happening faster? The answer, if you even need one, is of course yes. Is this an overreaction? I mean, what's the worst that can possibly happen to an overreaction? You were wrong with an abundance of caution. I doubt in the fullness of time, and China and the various other success stories of this crisis show us this, that you will be thanked for procrastinating. You stand a far better chance of being thanked for appearing over-eager. The government faces the very real issue of people taking decisions now into their own hands. The government runs the risk of people thinking so little of their leadership, they run their own programs. Schools are a very good example of this. The one thing the Prime Minister has done correctly is tell us not to panic. There is no need to panic, and she is right, but there is an increasingly urgent need to act and act decisively. As I said earlier on this week, this looks and feels like a government being led, not leading, and that needs to change now.